Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast with Profit. The big story today continues to be Satyam. In fact, as we've been speaking, the bidders have all arrived at that all-important location of the Taj in Mumbai. You're seeing most of the key members come in, including the board members like Deepak Parekh, Kiran Karnik, all of them entering to get the bids. And of course, the bidders coming in and on standby for auction as well. 9 a.m. is the deadline for the bids to come in. The board meeting starts at 10 a.m. After that, first it will be the technical bids that will be evaluated, and then the all-important financial bids that will be open. The bidders have been asked to be on standby in case there is an auction process which has to be kicked off. There have been provisions made for that, and what we understand from most of these people, the board members, that is that by the end of today, at least some sort of announcement, at least of the highest bidder, will be put forward and sent to the company law board. Meantime, as we look towards the last mile of the Satyam story, we also look back at what has been a truly unprecedented case in Indian corporate history. Devdatta Das reports on the role of the government, which acted in some ways quite fast, quite rapidly to try and contain the potential damage that Satyam could have done to Indian corporate sector's image.
It is for the first time in the history of this country's existence that the government has had to step in to salvage India Inc.'s pride in the biggest fraud ever that corporate India has witnessed so far, also now being referred to as our very own Enron. Also a corporate fraud of mammoth proportions that has not only shaken the very foundations of corporate culture in India.
It also left the Prime Minister of the largest democracy in the world shocked. So while Manmohan expressed his resentment, it was left up to the much less known Ministry of Company Affairs headed by PC Gupta to do a quick cleansing act with clear priorities to wrap up things before the upcoming elections. The first step, disbanding the Satyam board within days of the disclosure of the fraud and reinstating a new one equally fast.
Immediate priority of the board is to bring back the company on its footing. That is in the interest of all the stakeholders.
But at the state level, matters just got more intense with a mudslinging match between Y.S. Reddy, the current Andhra CM, and Chandrababu Naidu, his predecessor, ensuring that YSR, a one-time friend of the Raju family, vehemently distanced himself from the issue.
Satyam Computers sambandhinchi, it's nothing concerned with us. In what way it is concerned with us? Company ki sambandhinchina management lo some sort of a crisis, so lavate mistrust lo edo vachinai because of some decisions of the management board. We have got nothing to do with that.
But these minor incidents apart, the establishment seems to have handled the crisis well by ensuring that the company is put on the block within 100 days of Raju's confession.
I'd attribute it more to the system actually working for once, and everyone taking the right initiatives and putting their best foot forward and trying to salvage what they can. My sense is that the more this would have been lingered, the more employees would have been lost, or more people would have defected to other IT companies, more customers would have tried to get out of the company.
It was also the fear that this case could blow up in the face of the Congress-led UPA government and become yet another point of discontent during elections, not only for its current allies, but also for the ones it was trying to get on board, especially when it already has its plate full of controversial issues like terrorism and the economic downturn.
Right, Devdatta Das there reporting on the government's role. Let's bring in another voice, a well-known voice on the issue. We've got J.R. Verma, former SEBI member, joining us on the phone line this morning from Ahmedabad. Mr. Verma, very good morning to you. Thanks so much indeed for speaking to us on NDTV Profit. I sort of first want to ask you about the way things have panned out with the bidding process going to be completed today. Do you think this entire bidding process has been as transparent and above board as possible? There have been some concerns that have been raised by certain parties. In your opinion, is this the best way that you could have gone forward on the Satyam fiasco?
No, I think they have tried to be transparent and open and all that. However, the structure of this selling process, selling only a 51% stake and not selling the whole company, that creates problems of its own, because, for example, that is the thing which needs an evaluation of a technical bid. If you were selling 100% of the company, you wouldn't even be talking about a technical bid at all. The highest bidder takes the whole company, and the old shareholders are completely gone. It is because the old shareholders remain that you have to worry about the credentials of the incoming buyer. So by creating this, retaining a minority stake for the old shareholders, you have set up a process which is inherently open to question. However well you drive that process, however open, however transparent you may be, and with former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and so on, you have a certain assurance of transparency and openness. However, the process remains open to question because of that initial design feature. So I think questionability is built into the design.
Mr. Verma, also, is there a concern about the fact at the stage at which this is happening, because there's still a complete lack of clarity on the financials of the company, the legal liabilities of the company. So at this stage to sort of sell it off, is that appropriate, or is it just the fact that you needed to get this off the hands of the government and the interim board that have been put in?
No, I think this is unavoidable. This is unavoidable because this uncertainty cannot last too long. It has already lasted longer than one would have liked. At some point, the customers want some degree of certainty. The employees want some degree of certainty. I think the shareholders are not the people who demand certainty. Shareholders can live with uncertainty. But employees and customers will want some certainty that this company will exist, that this company will continue to pay the salaries to the employees or provide services to the customers. Given that the need to sell the company very quickly is simply beyond question. And within that time period available, it is not possible to restate all the financials. That's simply not going to happen. Therefore, this process of selling it without complete financial clarity, that is unavoidable. We knew that on day one, we knew that that's going to happen. So I think there is no point in talking about that. That is unavoidable. It is... it creates problems, but I think people have to live with the problem.
Right, Mr. Verma, obviously Satyam was a big learning for India. In fact, this was the first time that the Indian government actually intervened in the Satyam saga. What are the broader lessons that we've learned? Have the regulators actually learnt ways to avoid a situation like that, and even if not avoid, but actually deal with situations like that which could arise in corporate India going forward?
No, I think Satyam was an opportunity to put in a set of reforms on governance and disclosure and so on. Talking about whether this could have been prevented or whether there are reforms that could prevent it, I think that is very, very difficult. However tight your regulations are, there are bound to be situations like this happening. You need the ability to respond to them very quickly and deal with that. I think the government did a very good job of responding rapidly to the situation. But I think what is more important is that we need to continuously improve the disclosure regime, tighten the governance standards, and I think we have not done enough on that.
Right. Mr. Verma, thanks so much indeed. Good to get your voice in on what is going to be a crucial day in this entire story. Also crucial, of course, the bidders, and this is the first voice coming in from A.N. Nayak of L&T, who has been going very strong on his potential bid for, of course, Satyam. Right, we'll try and get you that in a bit. Just to tell you what he had to say, he said, I have no comment. Of course, he did also have his fingers crossed in some ways that he does become the successful bidder. That's all the time we have on Breakfast with Profit. Keep it here on NDTV Profit. It's an important day right here.
Of course, we've got lots lined up. It's not just Satyam, but even broader markets that we'll be watching out for as markets to gear up for trade in this brand new week. Thanks for watching. Countdown and opening moves is coming up next.